What's going on, guys? Welcome to Safemoon, the Web3 movement for everyone. Except that John Karony's in jail, Safemoon filed bankruptcy, and they halted trading, and it is not going to be turned back on. So 2 days ago, on December 16th, Kark said, guys, I just had a very credible source warning that Safemoon trading may end in hours, if not sooner, that they are horrified about what looks to be imminently happening to the holders, with a very pointed message they wanted me to relay: get out now. It's like a final warning. Get out of Safemoon while you can. This looks like the real deal to me. I can promise you that this source is someone who would be able to speak authoritatively regarding this, so while I can't speak for them or guarantee the accuracy of their warning, I am very concerned. Do this with the alleged leak from the source as you see fit. I'm sorry to be the bearer of potentially very bad news. I saw this and I was like, I need to make a live stream and I need to do a Twitter space. So I did a live stream, I did a Twitter space, let everybody know Safemoon trading is about to be halted. You're not going to be able to sell. By the time that I got it live, trading had been halted. Not long after that, he says, update, my source was correct. Trading for Safemoon appears to have been halted. He says if you're seeing any trading activity, it's likely from whitelisted developer accounts. Like Safemoon was dead, right? It couldn't get any more dead. But when you can't buy or sell the token, now it's completely dead. It's actually literally dead. You can't buy or sell Safemoon, and you're not going to be able to. Safemoon holders are posting, oh, the price is going up, and they're all kind of celebrating and saying, oh, we can't wait to get back in. TNG explains this, and he says the Safemoon contract is paused. No new transactions are possible. This is why you can't trade it on a DEX, but SEXs still allow their internal balance to be changed. People can't send the SEX their Safemoon to sell because trading is paused. Someone is buying on a SEX, but nobody can send their tokens to sell to take advantage of the price. Price on SEX goes up and it pushes the average up. Rest assured, your tokens are still worth nothing because it's impossible to sell them unless you bought them on the SEX. And this just came out this morning that the liquidity pools and crypto assets need to be managed, wound down, and liquidated. This is in the bankruptcy court documents. Liquidity pools and crypto assets need to be managed, wound down, and liquidated. And what this means is this is the final rug. This is the final rug to zero. All the FUD that we covered the entire time that we were covering it, and the maxis were saying that we're causing people to lose money, that we're hurting them by covering the FUD. The entire time they were encouraging you to buy the dip, being exit liquidity, all the way down to zero. You can't sell your tokens. Everybody who was buying and buying and buying and buying, and everybody who was defending everything, they encouraged you to lose money all the way down into a total rug where there is no money left. So where that leaves us is this is truly the end of Safemoon. The only thing that we really have left is to kind of get a victory of seeing John Karony being convicted as far as getting justice and finding out what actually happens to Safemoon. Safemoon Discord is slowly devolving into just a crypto Discord. The Safemoon Facebook was rebranded, pumped some other token, and then they decided that that was a bad idea and that they were going to change it. And that's why I always said the FUD is not us creating information out of thin air. The FUD is their actions. It's us pointing at their actions. It's us talking about their actions. If me talking about it is such a problem, then how much more should you be upset for them for doing it, is what I was saying. I was like, we're just pointing to their actions. That's what we've seen over the past couple years, is the interesting aspect of the psychology of cultish greed, where people want to be rich to the point denying the truth that's in front of their face until the bitter, bitter end. And that's what I've been telling people. If you're waiting for the courts to tell you what happened, you're going to be the last one to find out. If you can't connect the dots before something happens, then you're always going to be the last person to know. And it's not hard to connect the dots. It's not like the logic isn't there. Safemoon is done. John is probably going to be convicted. The trading is halted. It's probably not going back up. Even if it did go back up, if your bank told you you couldn't get your money out and then suddenly they went back up, what would you do? There'd be a massive sell-off. All of this is going to be liquidated. Everything that was left in the liquidity pool, like I think it was like 8 to 10 million, that's going to be liquidated for the bankruptcy. But I'm pretty sure you're never going to be able to sell your bag again. It's because one man had control over this thing the entire time, and he played us all. He deceived us all. Slowly over time, many of us started to realize what was going on. Thanks to Bootsy, Striker, and CoffeeZilla, they really brought all this to light. I don't think that John would have been caught at nearly as fast, potentially years it would have taken, and potentially people might not have found out for a long time, because what Bootsy and Stryker did, they had to study blockchain and connect the dots for 4 hours a day for a year or two. Like, a ton of work went into actually uncovering what happened with John Karony, and CoffeeZilla was just the voice that could actually get enough attention and eyes on it to expose it, getting millions and millions of views per each video, and waking us up to what it was actually going on behind the scenes, because it really just took an expert to go in there, connect all the dots, see where the money went, see where his transactions were, see him buying the mansions. If they hadn't have done that, none of this might not have happened. You know, I always covered the FUD before them, whatever I knew. It's just that we didn't know that John took from the LP. Whenever John got arrested, many of the maxis were still defending, still saying they're buying Safemoon, they're going to be Safemoon millionaires, just kind of all kinds of nonsense. And then the bankruptcy happened. Actually had more of an impact on the Safemoon holders and maxis that I've ever seen, which was surprised me. That was only with the bankruptcy, which happened, you know, last week or a couple days ago. But the halting of the trading of Safemoon, and they didn't give like a warning for people to get their money out. And that's what was going on with Kark and whoever it was that he was talking to, is the people that knew they're about to stop trading. And it wasn't like, oh, they're going to turn it on and they'll have a chance. No, it was like, you need to warn everybody, get out now, because what's about to happen is everyone's going to lose their bags. You're not going to have access to be able to sell your Safemoon that you've been buying the entire time, that other people have been encouraging you to buy every time. We tried to put out that warning and it got halted way too fast. I don't know if they saw that and halted it, but at least if we'd had a couple hours, some people might have had a chance to get out. But if you didn't get out by this time, then you probably just were down so bad that you're just hoping for the best. But there probably was other people who did pour way too much into this, buying the dip the entire time, all the way down into a one last and final complete rug, all the way to zero. I mean, this is insane. I don't think that the reality of this has been expressed, of the finality of the end of the Safemoon token, like literally not being able to buy or sell. But Safemoon had everything it needed to do well. It could have been amazing. They had a massive community. If John hadn't taken hundreds of millions out of the LP and everybody else, Ben Phillips and Thomas and Kyle, everything they took out of the LP was the whales to sell, was ours to sell. That was your bag of 2x. You're taking your initial investment out. That was everything that they took out of the LP. And when you take out of the LP, it's basically like selling. When you pull out LP, it doesn't move the price, but the next sell that happens after you pull out the LP, it then reveals how much the LP had been stolen out of. So technically, yes, taking the LP does move the price. It just is delayed a little bit. And, you know, for me, one of the best things about Safemoon was that I was able to, because of Safemoon, get into Evergrow. And because of Evergrow, I was able to make about $70K in profit. And I was able to help a lot of other people make a lot of money as well. And so there's one of the benefits of Safemoon was the ability to get into Evergrow and the ability to get into DeFi and learn. And hopefully some of you guys have found other opportunities because Safemoon pulled you into the world of DeFi.